It's only taken 4 years and 5 months. But finally this week, we have the most batshit crazy direct response from Meghan Markle to the huge slew of bullying allegations against her at Buckingham Palace. Now, the mainstream media isn't realizing the significance of this statement. They're focusing on her birthday. We will obviously talk about that too. But trust me, what she is saying is so deceitful, so duplicitous, so full of lies, it finally exposes this woman for who she really is. Because Meghan Markle is now saying that there was a plot against her, that members of the royal family like Prince William and Catherine, the Princess of Wales, alongside their staff members like Jason Knauf, were conspiring with some of the most credible broadsheet journalists in the United Kingdom to try and bring her down with lies, with bullying lies. It is honestly explosive. P-Dina is with me too, and we are going to get into all of this. And I found it so fascinating, actually, that she did decide to overshadow her own birthday with the release of this statement. But of course, nothing says I'm turning 44 and I'm really desperate than going to a favorite Kardashian restaurant and making sure there's a really big plug just so you get all the food free. Blowing out the candles on a beautiful 24 hours and thanking my husband, friends and family for making it so special. To those of you I don't know but who send love every day, thank you so much. Please know I feel it and appreciate it. And just to get a little foodie on you, this dinner last night at Funke LA with the culinary mastery of Evan Funke and his team is in the top 5 meals of my life. Extraordinary. Thank you for a standout dining experience. Now, I want to take a closer look at the nose. By the way, I'm no expert, but the Royal News Network asking, was Meghan Markle's birthday present to herself a nose job? The lighting isn't great, but the tip of her nose definitely looks different. Wow, no wonder she disappeared for the last month. Had to hide and recover, I guess. We'll have to wait for better pictures to confirm. You be the judge on that one. But what I think is by far the most significant story of this birthday is that Meghan decided to use it to hit back via the New York Post, a Rupert Murdoch tabloid, but by far her favorite sort of the tabloid publications in the US newspapers that she does regularly work with. And I mean, well, I've just got to get into it. They ran this headline based on the interview with Valentine Low of The Times that we also played you last week. Why Meghan Markle's fragile employees waited years to accuse her of bullying. Now, we'll see what Valentine Low had to say in just one moment. And trust me, I know journalists very well. I was part of this mainstream media thing in the United Kingdom for 20 years. Valentine Low doesn't go into anything with an agenda. He's not someone like me who brings his own opinion and analysis. He simply looks at the facts. The Times is a newspaper of record and he reports them. And of course, the facts that people like me had been reporting for many years is that Meghan was a bully, that Meghan had bullied staff behind the scenes at within the palaces, that Meghan had even bullied her own sister-in-law, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, and her own niece, Princess Charlotte. But for some reason, this interview with Valentine Low, which we covered here on Outspoken at the weekend, has made Meghan decide, to finally go public via a spokesperson. But trust me, these are her words. The only time bullying allegations had ever come up before, she left it to Schilling's lawyers to respond for her. Never a spokesperson, never anything from her own words. But Meghan is at a different stage of her life, and she now wants to describe Low's reporting as, quote, harmful gossip. She said that he continues to desperately recycle false, offensive, and long discredited allegations in an apparent bid to sell books and resuscitate relevance. Meghan went on. These claims, rooted in anonymous, unverifiable sources, form part of a broader and deeply troubling agenda that seeks to dehumanize a woman who has consistently stood up for fairness, dignity, and truth. The Duchess has faced years of unfounded attacks masked as journalism in a never-ending smear campaign, beginning only once she was affiliated with the institution. Meghan remains undeterred by the noise and firmly focused on her family and work. Big news! Outspoken is now available as a podcast too. So please do subscribe wherever you get yours, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and make sure you rate and review. I'll take 5 stars, if you may. Wow. Yes, it is a mic drop statement, but it also shows you that Meghan Markle, if you didn't trust me on this before, is living in a fantasy world. She has allowed her own lies to multiply and to build up that she actually has no idea of the truth, even if it would come and hit her in the face. Because to suggest that there was some type of smear campaign here is utterly ludicrous, given that it would mean that the smear campaign would also have been continued by The Hollywood Reporter, by Vanity Fair, by The Daily Beast, by Newsweek, by staff members also working for Archewell in California. And what I found particularly disgusting, and remember, she knows this, she thinks you're stupid, she thinks we're stupid, is that when she spoke about the fact that these claims are rooted in anonymous and unverifiable sources, what she is doing is completely neglecting to tell us that they have to be legally. If any member of the Sussex Survivors Club, and trust me, there are many of them, want to speak out publicly, they face jail. And that is because if you go and work for the royal family in the United Kingdom, you sign the Official Secrets Act. So what I have been saying for a number of years, and what I will say again today, Meghan, you need to waive all of these contracts. You need to allow these staff members to speak out if you're so confident in terms of what you're saying. If you're so confident that there is some type of deeply troubling agenda that was just seeking to dehumanize them, dehumanize you. Let these people speak. You claimed that you were silenced within the royal family. Stop silencing these people. Let the public judge. And why don't you go and sue Valentine Low? Why don't you go and sue Jason Knauf? Because at that point, the evidence would be able to be presented in a British court of law. You will never do that, Meghan Markle, because you know the facts on the ground are not in your favour. So as I say, this is quite astonishing. Yes, there's a lot of other royal news around, and of course we'll be talking about it all. But to me, this is a landmark moment showing P-Dina that Meghan Markle is now so delusional that she believes that there is some type of deep state campaign against her and that she was never a bully, even though there are now so many bullying claims, so many claims of psychiatric abuse, so many claims of staff members going into therapy on both sides of the Atlantic, that what she's saying is actually completely nonsensical.
Yeah, absolutely. Megan has done a lot of things to show us who she is. And all we have to do is look to Megan's own actions to understand the kind of person she is. And so anything that she says about what other people are doing towards her will never stand up to what people believe as the truth, because we can see how Megan acts. We can see the choices and the things that she has done that have given us, the evidence that we need to know the kind of person that she is. I mean, all you have to do is look at the fact that her own father is someone that she doesn't speak to. And this is a man that gave her everything. So if you're going to treat your father, the one who gave you the whole world, who treated you like a princess, if you're going to treat that person very poorly, then what makes people think that you wouldn't do it to people that you're paying? It makes no sense that she thinks that people are going to believe the things that she is trying to say about, this being a smear campaign. Megan has definitely shown us who she is. And they always say, when someone shows you who they are, believe them. And we're simply believing who Meghan Markle is by the things that she has shown us. And so we're not going to fall for Megan trying to play the victim here. She is definitely a bad actor in terms of the things that she has done to people, and she's simply getting back the treatment that she has put out there towards other people. And we just believe the kind of person that she is to be not a very nice person. And so that's what she's getting thrown back at her. And you know, at this point, Dan, her reputation is so in the mud that she's just trying to dig herself out of it and trying to make up these false claims that will never go anywhere with people in terms of believing it. I mean, she is desperate. It shows you how much she is in a panic right now because people are really calling her out and she can't get out of it. We already know the kind of person she is. We're not going to fall for it. People are really going after this woman in a very big way, and she doesn't like it.
Totally. I mean, she says in the statement, P-Dina, that these allegations are long discredited. Absolutely not. Valentine
No.
Low revealed that she had never taken legal action against him. Complete radio silence. So they're not long discredited in any way. And this idea that there's an agenda seeking to dehumanize her and the fact that she has stood up for fairness, dignity, and the truth is utterly delusional. She covers
Yeah.
up the truth because if she had any care about the truth, she would let her staff members speak out. And again, I know there's lots of Americans who in the past would have maybe thought that Meghan Markle was the victim of bullying or even racism within the British royal family. But what I've seen over the past 2 years is holy shit. No. These staff members are also talking to the Hollywood Reporter and describing her as a dictator, duchess in high heels. Holy shit, Vanity Fair is also reporting how many staff members, including Americans, have ended up in psychiatric
Right.
treatment. It's like this is a story which has moved on so significantly, and the fact that Meghan is sticking to her guns but actually coming out firing so much harder is quite astonishing. But P-Dina, what I want to
Oh,
show
this
you.
is
Sorry, you come in.
okay. No, I was just going to say, I mean, think about it. If we have allegations of her bullying staff over in the UK, and then we have the same thing happening over in America, that right there is not an orchestrated smear campaign. That is simply people coming out and telling what happened to them, especially when they're on two different continents. Okay. This woman cannot even put up a defense against the things that have happened to her in the UK and over in America. Right? Like it doesn't even make sense that anyone would be orchestrating something, you know, across the pond around this woman. She's
Totally.
she's done this to herself,
They were on her side. I mean, these
right?
publications were literally acting as propagandists for her for some time. But look, I want to show you the key portion of the interview with Valentine Low, which has led to this extraordinary outburst from Meghan Markle. This was in conversation with Kinsey Schofield. We did produce an in-depth video looking at his allegations, which is available on the Outspoken YouTube channel from this Sunday if you do want to go further in depth. But here are the main elements, P-Dina. But first, we've been told our whole lives that wrinkle creams were the easiest way to look younger. Now, one doctor says that's nothing but old news. According to Dr. John Lake, the world-renowned Beverly Hills beauty expert, most wrinkle fixes on the market are nothing but glorified moisturizers. They hardly make a dent on your appearance. Some can even be harmful to your skin, he said. Now, recently, Dr. Lake has focused his attention away from mainstream cosmetic practices so he can pursue a revolutionary anti-aging breakthrough that some experts say could empty the wallets of the cosmetic industry. He describes it as being almost like Photoshop for your face and says you may even be mad after seeing how easy it is to visibly erase your wrinkles from view. His personal clients have dubbed his new do-it-yourself technique the age rewinder method because it can take years or even decades off your appearance in under 2 minutes. So in light of this amazing breakthrough, Dr. Lake has released a step-by-step video to the public. It is free, it is uninterrupted, and he will outline exactly how to use this simple solution from home. And he said if it helps even one person look younger or feel more confident, he will actually be thrilled knowing that he helped. The video's gone viral as you'd expect, started on Facebook, over 2.3 million views now. The comments and feedback have been outstanding too. Thousands of women report they look decades younger. One commented that it was the best result of anything they've used. They said, I can't believe how well this works. I'll never stop using this. I don't understand how it works, but the results are great. Thank you. So you can find out more about this yourself right now. Go to bhmd1.com/outspoken, or if it's easier for you, you can just click on the link in the description box below this video. That's bhmd1.com/outspoken. There is one thing Dr. Lake asks from his viewers, though. He says, if watching this video helps you look and feel younger than you have in years, then please share this video with your friends and loved ones. Together, we have the power to help as many women reclaim a youthful look as possible. So go watch the video at bhmd1.com/outspoken right now, or just click on the link in the description box below. But now, back to the show.
For both that Times piece and your book, were they nervous? Were they frightened?
Certainly for the Times piece, people were very nervous. I mean, I had to make quite complicated arrangements to talk to some people, and there was a strong element of nervousness and worry, and they were still, some of them were still in a very fragile state. I mean, and this is extraordinary, because it was 2.5 years later. It was 2.5 years after that memo was written. And they'd left the employ of the royal family, and they still were in a psychologically delicate state as a result of what happened to them at that time.
And a lot of these people, when they signed these agreements, which means maybe not some of the people that talk to you, but some of the people that leave, they tend to be asked to sign agreements that say they won't say anything about working in the royal household. Is that true?
Absolutely.
And so there are many people have asked me this before, and we've discussed this before, but I think it's worth mentioning because I know people will ask this again. Even if their NDAs were lifted, a lot of these people don't want to become the face of this drama. They don't want to be. They don't want to be doing the interview circuits. They have no desire to put themselves out there. So in case they ever were given permission to talk publicly, you have told me previously you doubt that they would. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I think they are happy leading their new lives, doing whatever new job it is they do, and they don't want the media on their doorstep. They don't want to have this kind of target on them. And certainly at the time I was writing that story, they were very worried about what Meghan would do to them. About they viewed her capacity for revenge as infinite.
I mean, P-Dina, capacity for revenge as infinite. But again, I think it's really important to see who we're talking about with Valentine Low, okay? Because he isn't me, he isn't Lady Colin Campbell, he isn't Piers Morgan. This is a very quiet, studious, traditional British broadsheet newspaper reporter who doesn't want to make the story about himself, who doesn't have any of the bombast of people like me who did report this story, but then actually started to take a view on it. And that's why I find it astonishing that Meghan Markle has just totally gone for this man. I mean, he's retired now. He has about a 5-decade storied career, and she is trying to destroy all of that.
Yeah, I mean, doesn't it just give you the insight you need to know what Meghan is going through right now? She's desperate to really hide these stories and to portray something completely different because her career depends on it. Her career depends on these things not coming out and taking, heed very strongly across the globe because she's trying to do world domination. She's trying to get around and have a brand and empire that's supposed to do very well. And if she has these stories coming out, it really is going to be very harmful to her future, her money making potential. And so she's coming out guns blazing, trying to shoot down all these allegations. But I think it's just too strong to go away because, like I said, they're over in the UK, in the States, and she's just trying to do damage control right now. And it's insulting that she would try to come out and go against this journalist in a that she's doing it because he has a very deep reputation for doing very thorough work and people believe the things that he writes about. I mean, he's been doing this for many years and the things that he reports on are very believable. And you can't win in court. You can't do anything that is going to make this man take back or to take it away essentially because it's very well vetted and Meghan knows it. And this is why she's freaking out over all of this. And hey, I think it also speaks to the relationship with her and Harry right now, because Harry is probably giving her a lot of backlash because he sees that his whole brand has gone down with Meghan's, and he's part of that. And he is probably giving her a lot of flack over it as well. So I think she sees it coming from all sides and she doesn't know what to do. She's just lashing out because she's in a panic right now over people really talking about things that she herself knows to be true. And she doesn't know how to deal with it. And I tell you, if this man is not being sued, hey, we're believing it. People are believing these stories. And she has a lot to be nervous about because her reputation has been damaged tremendously. And we know how she comes out in the way she is vindictive, the way she comes at people to try to, play in the background, but really being the one, the manipulator behind all of this nefarious behavior. She is doing this right now as we speak, I believe. And so it just points to her desperation and how scared she really is right now.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. The Royal News Network has done some really interesting analysis on this. Let me just take you through it, P-Dina. They write, Meghan Markle's losing the plot big time over Valentine Low as he reiterates the damage her alleged bullying tactics as a royal cost her former staff. Her spokesperson's response is both unhinged and filled with outright lies. Let's dissect it. It begins with Meghan's spokesperson saying that Low is blasting harmful gossip. This is false. If it was gossip without a shred of proof, Meghan would have sued him. Instead, Meghan's team sent the Times 2 legal letters, one long and one short, which were very feisty, very strong, but nothing happened. Despite Harry and Meghan trying to solve many of their problems through the legal system, if they didn't pursue it here, there must have been some validity to it. It goes on to say, Low continues to desperately recycle false, offensive, and long discredited allegations in an apparent bid to sell books and resuscitate relevance. Meghan's PR team is committing two logical fallacies here. The first is the straw man argument. The allegations are not false, offensive, and long discredited, but ones that have resurfaced again and again. It's part of an established pattern of behaviour that has been reported endlessly, including most notably by The Hollywood Reporter in September 2024. Also, again, Meghan didn't sue and has never been fully cleared against the bullying allegations except in her own delusional fantasies. The second is an ad hominem attack against Low as a journalist. Meghan's PR team claims he's just trying to sell books and resuscitate relevance. Having interviewed Low myself, he comes across as a measured and cautious journalist who is disinterested in the royal ruckus and is not an attention seeker. He's a reporter who tries to avoid bias. This is a threat to Meghan as she can't sway him, hence why she had her team attack his credentials and character instead of the veracity of the claims. The PR team then doubles down. These claims, rooted in anonymous, unverifiable sources, form part of a broader and deeply troubling agenda that seeks to dehumanize a woman who has consistently stood up for fairness, dignity, and truth. Meghan has always had her team push narratives to the point of absurdity, and that's what's happening here as well. The claims are anonymous because of the palace NDAs and the Secrets Act, which protects staff as well as Meghan's precious ego. The sources are also not unverified, as there was an investigation and the conclusions were kept confidential by the palace, likely to avoid Meghan Markle's retaliatory tendencies against staff and because they failed to protect the staff from the alleged boss from hell.
Mm-hmm.
There is no broad and deeply troubling agenda that seeks to dehumanize a woman. The public is just wise to Meghan's antics. We're not stupid. We aren't fools. Meghan just can't accept that the public is not as in love with Meghan as she is with herself. While there was a time when the public was moved by the false persona, Meghan's behaviour ruined it. She's the reason the public dislikes her. If she wanted love, then perhaps she should have tried to avoid breaking apart a family, disrespecting the British people, lying and mocking the Queen, which are only some of her many offensives. The claims that Meghan in any way stands for fairness, dignity and truth is a laughable joke. If this was true, why did she throw out false allegations against her own in-laws? She's also been caught in numerous lies and half-truths over the years. Again, Meghan can only blame herself for her bad reputation. Finally, Meghan remains undeterred by the noise and firmly focused on her family and work. It's not noise to Meghan, which is why she feels a desperate need to respond. She can't stand the fact that the public doesn't indulge her, that her false persona only worked for a short period of time and that we quickly saw the real Meghan. Meghan would have been so much better off if she could recognise her own mistakes, address the flaws in her characters, and grow to become a better person. She simply can't, which is why she will never reach the heights of success that she believes she's owed. There is a rather famous quote on this topic: experience that most brutal of teachers, but you learn. My God, do you learn? Meghan has a lifetime of experience at this point, but failed to learn anything from it. That is why she will always fail. I'm sure Meghan Markle pays handsomely for her PR, but attacking Valentine Low is not the answer. Meghan Markle's greatest problem has always been Meghan Markle. And P-Dina, it actually feels like that is the case as well when it comes to her relaunch. Because, again, so much going on in one day, which is particularly bizarre. But she decided to use her birthday to relaunch the as ever, as Lady C says, was never rosé. And she released this post on Instagram. We made so much more this time round, and yet it's still going fast. Don't miss out. And posted this video too.
Here we go.
But the problem is, there's no sellout this time, with the Royal News Network also posting Meghan Markle has again shot herself in the foot. Her wine has yet to sell out. Perhaps she's filled her stocks correctly, or her product isn't moving like last time, but she's set herself up to sell out every time. So when she doesn't, now it seems like there's a problem with the product or the brand. This is the problem with the scarcity tactic, much like her over-the-top PDA with Harry. Once it stops, it raises questions that wouldn't be asked otherwise. And P-Dina, I just think this isn't selling because, do you remember the Daily Mail recently revealed that Netflix had been really disturbed by the lack of stock that was being moved, even though so little stock had actually been produced. And eventually people were always going to get bored, weren't they, with this ludicrous put something up, have it sell out, put up a tiny other bit more stock, have it sell out. Now it's not selling out, so it looks even like she can't play that PR game.
No, yeah, and it's like just what Netflix said or what was reported at the time, it was the final nail in the coffin for them, that the sales were so dismal that they knew that this woman was not going to be able to, help them make any money with the things she was selling. She just doesn't have what it takes to give, a company like Netflix what they need to make real profits. And Meghan is just in this state of serious delusion, Dan, where she thinks she can just prop out her products, her wine, and show people and constantly post on Instagram to make people believe that this is something that is going well. All is good in the world of Meghan and her as ever brand. But as Lady C says, as never, it's never going to do well. It's never going to be what she thinks it could be in her delusional head. And she just needs to come to the fact that she hasn't learned anything. And like Royal News Network was saying, Meghan is her biggest problem. She doesn't take advice. She doesn't listen to what people are telling her to try to become better, to grow, to, not repeat the same mistakes over and over again. And this kind of person will never learn, never be better. And I think Netflix saw the writing on the wall that this was never going to go well with Meghan because she just wants to do what she wants to do, which is not a good thing. She will continually flop. And her wine, look, people can't afford it. The people she's trying to market to are not the supporters of Meghan. And the people I think that are the supporters of Meghan are not going to be able to afford $90 to $100 worth of, 3 bottles of wine. It's ridiculous. And she'll just keep doing what she's doing because she's insane. Okay. What do they say about insanity? You keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome, it's never going to be a different outcome for Meghan. And I think this is why something has to happen where this comes to a head, where something has to give now, because Meghan is going to keep doing what she's doing. The question then becomes, will Harry keep doing what he's doing by trying to save face and staying with this woman? Because he only emboldens and empowers her with her delusion,
I
okay?
know.
Because it's going to keep repeating.
Well, yeah, and like for the birthday, for example, P-Dina, we saw that none of the big celebrities who in the past had wished her happy birthday, like Beyonce, for example, I mean, the Radar Online lot put them all together. None of them were actually, releasing messages. And then look at this. The friends that did, and these are like the controlled friends that did, all seem to mention these terms like love and light as if Meghan had provided some type of script.
Right. It's almost like she puts things out and she prepares people to say and do things as she plans them, because she has to curate things to make them a reality because they just don't happen on their own. Megan is someone that can't accept something for what it is. She has to paint this imaginary picture of how she wants things to be. They see this false fake character and they are so frustrated with how she tries to make herself appear one way. She's not natural. She's not easygoing. She's very uptight. She's very controlled. She's very in this idea of in her head that makes things appear one way, but we can all see the reality completely different. And I think people just don't connect with her for that reason. They don't feel like she's someone they want to be around because she has this false way about her that just makes people uneasy. And it's no wonder that a lot of people that she met since coming to California haven't reached out, haven't wished her happy birthday. I mean, where's Tyler Perry? Where's Oprah? Where's Gail? Where's Kerry Washington? Where's her one friend that's supposed to be on her show this year, Tiggy, or what's the girl's name that's married to John Legend? I think she's
Chrissy
not
Teigen,
even
yeah.
saying anything. Yeah, Chrissy. Like,
I know.
like you would think this woman would have so many more people
Totally.
supporting her.
And it's what people
Yeah.
do. It's not like she doesn't want these posts because we've seen them from the three BFFs who clearly felt like, oh God, we're so scared of her. Like, so scared. Oh gosh, she wants me to say love and light, love and light. Okay, yeah.
Yes,
Here's your post.
exactly. Read the script. Read the script. Okay, you got
Exactly.
your script.
But the likes of Chrissy Teigen, Kerry Washington and stuff, they're not stupid enough. They're not going to put even if they have this private relationship with Meghan, they're not going to put their own professional credibility on the line. Not to mention the
Exactly.
fact that all of their PRs and all of their agents are saying, say nothing. Do not associate yourself with that
That's
woman.
right.
Of course, if you do want first access, though, to all of the royal exclusives that you simply do not get from the mainstream media or the Royal Rota, then please do sign up to the Outspoken Substack. www.outspoken.live is the address. You will get first access to the Royal Uncancelled After Show Monday to Friday, every single weekday. You get it first. You get it either live or on demand, whichever you prefer, but with no advertising whatsoever. The reason I really push Substack is that it is a free speech platform. It protects me from lawfare against the likes of Prince Harry. So if you could sign up, it would mean the world to me. www.outspoken.live. Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.